This is the crock rockin', nickelback poppin', curls for all the girls, the Perminator, Sam Beal. And I am on the Sit Down Marks podcast, and we're going to get some perfection today, baby.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah! Acknowledge me.
What is going on, everybody out there in Sit Down Markland? Come on in, sit down. Episode number 152 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. And today we're in a celebratory mood, baby. I might even sing a little Frank Sinatra or something on down the way, because why? Today it is our 4-year anniversary pod, and we got the OGs back in the building today with Dylan Primo, my brother. The man has been with me since day one-ish. No, not ish. It was day one. It was day one, people. Primo, happy 4 years, bro.
Happy 4-year anniversary to the pod. Man, we were talking about it pre-pod. We have had a lot go on. We were talking about many things that we will get to during this show. But not only is this our 4-year anniversary, we just passed 316 days. So, of course, I'm going to partake as usual. But also, It's episode 152. So welcome in these other guys.
That was the worst Stone Cold impression ever. And the other OG with me, we'll talk about his eventual entrance into the podcast, just a couple episodes into this journey. What's going on, AJ? Welcome back, brother. We missed you last week. You're muted. You're muted.
You're muted. Hi. Still a fucking amateur. Jesus
How
Christ.
appropriate will that be later?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that that's what happened the first time I was on. This is technically not my 4-year anniversary. I have like another week before.
You always do this. This is so stupid. He
Every
always
year?
acts like his big anniversary is like a week after ours.
Yeah,
like
he doesn't share ours,
pod birthday.
apparently.
I get my own special anniversary because I wasn't a part of the original lineup. AJ doesn't like talking about wrestling. Don't even bother with him. He's fucking jerking off somewhere.
You all started as guests, and then you became permanent.
Yeah. You were a busy dude chasing a lot of women back then, man.
Whatever. My feelings are still hurt.
And the most recognizable Midwest indie wrestling fan we had to eventually add to the pod. It's going to be a cool story about how we met. You might know him as Green Hat Guy Dylan, as we eventually became friends and came on the pod. But welcome to the 4-year anniversary pod, Dylan. You're on them from here on out. So happy birthday either way.
Yeah, right on. 4 years feels like 4 months, but who's counting?
Right,
AJ's got a week for his anniversry. I got like 3 years and 6 months for my 4-year anniversary.
60 something, or I don't know.
Dylan, I'm going to get us t-shirts made. I don't know what they're going to say yet, but
or you say delayed anniversary.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna be the outsiders. Like you're gonna start your own wolf pack and
yes. Only it's going to be. I don't like. How do you do like
over.
reverse outsiders? So if that.
You know who we are, but you have no idea why we're here.
I mean, that's all of us.
This
You
though.
don't know who
podcast
we
is
are.
now officially new
Yeah.
world
World
order. Good stuff, man. Yeah, but it's going to be a good one, man. His fans are already tuning in. Nate, thanks for tuning in, buddy.
Yeah,
Giving
dude.
that green high comment. And also, Connor, man, thanks for tuning in here today, buddy. Thanks
Connor
for
Dog,
appreciate
Con
the
Dog,
happy
Conzilla.
anniversary. Yeah, appreciate that, brother. Thank you. So, want to thank everybody for listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those podcast platforms out there, especially ones that have been with us from the beginning. And thank you, the ones that have just found out about the pod. Thank you guys so much, and appreciate everybody checking us out on Facebook and YouTube today. And so, we try to talk on the least night of wrestling, during the week. So, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us and checking us out right now, we got a lot of fun stuff planned for the pod later on. So big stuff, man. So yes, man, 4 years, man. It's obviously 4 years has definitely blown by, and I think if you're a original listener to the pod, you really see how far we've come. But I think another thing too is I think after this pod, a lot of people will see how bad our pod really used to
Oh
be.
my God.
Now,
Yes.
I'm not putting myself over saying we got the best pod ever, but it is miles and miles better than from what it was back in the beginning, man. It was a rough go, man, but we eventually found our footing. Thank God Primo was tech savvy, because good Lord, this pod would not be this Primo from the pod.
A Primo promo.
Yeah, it would not be. I think word mannerisms was a lot of of that throughout that made us laugh a lot. But but thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it, man. We really do appreciate the support. So, but before we can get to all that celebratory stuff, man, we got to get to the hot start, Primo. 5 topics in the world of wrestling. Here we go. Dylan, I'm gonna start with you, brother. Here on this first one, man. So WWE is rumored to be adding Ray Phoenix and Jeff Cobb to the roster soon. How would you like to see these guys, and how do you think they'd fit on a WWE roster?
My answer now is a whole lot different than it would have been 2 years ago, a year ago, maybe.
I know, right?
Cobb, I've been a fan of Cobb for forever. Dude is just a hoss. I'd love to see what he could do on the main roster. Phoenix, freak athlete. Would love to see him on the main roster. I don't want Phoenix to come in and get put with Penta and then go right back to a tag team and not do any single stuff. That's the worst case scenario. But if they brought him in, kept him separate from Penta for a little while, built that up, that could be a whole lot of fun. They'd both be really cool additions.
Right. What do you guys think? Well, first of all, help me remember, man. I was trying to remember. So, a lot of people, if you watch the Indies, you know who Jeff Cobb is. If you watch New Japan, you know who Jeff Cobb is. But otherwise, some may not know. But some people watch Lucha Underground. Who was he on Lucha Underground? What was his name? He wore
He was the masked guy
with the jumpsuit. Yeah,
The masked guy on Lucha Underground.
Well, it was like a Jason mask, kind of like a hockey mask or something.
Mask,
yeah.
like Matanza or something.
Yeah,
like that.
there you go. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So so that's definitely wild to see him if he does end up getting on the roster.
Right.
Ray, of course, because Penta's kind of already there and they kind of go hand to hand together. But yeah, that'd be cool. All right, Primo. Topic number 2, your boy Seth Rollins is said, currently 21 years in the business, said was speaking to WFAN and said he's 39 right now, and 45 seems like a good number to retire on. Do you believe him?
I would say
Spot on.
I would say that 45. So was that 6 years? Man, that's hard.
I know, right?
That's a hard one because he's in excellent shape, but he does have wife and kid now. But wife is also in the business. So No, I don't think 45 will be the stopping point unless there's some kind of extenuating circumstances.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Baby.
Dylan, AJ, what do you guys think? We got to take a wrestler with retirement, prediction with a grain of salt, right? Like,
Yes. No. No. I think he will go until his knee inevitably blows out completely, and he has to get a metal knee, which is what's going to happen. But
Right.
then that's what happened with Rey Mysterio, and he's like 77 now, and he's still going. So,
Yep.
no, I don't buy that for 1 second. Never.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
First off, I'm surprised he's 39. That's shocking news to me. I wouldn't have guessed he was that old.
I thought he was older.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he has had, the back issues and the knee issues. Like, I wouldn't bet on him being retired in 6 years, but if he
Right.
was, I wouldn't be completely and totally shocked either.
Yeah, 6 years isn't that far away.
Yeah.
Got to swing in here for a second, guys. The boss man from Sportswire Radio, Thomas Price, just sent us a
Hey.
congrats, guys, on 4 years. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, boss man, boss.
Yeah, the pod definitely wouldn't be where it is without Sportswire Radio. Been with us from basically the beginning. So shout out to those guys. Appreciate it so much.
What did they see in us, anyways, during those early episodes?
Fucking nerds. Not them, us.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think he saw some young, well, not young, maybe you guys, hungry.
I did eat a lot in those early days.
Eager podcasters is what he saw. And, we love wrestling, man. That shine, you know what I'm saying? So he said we met in April of 2021. So yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. The passion for wrestling is, goes hand in hand with Thomas too. So thank you, Sportswire Radio. All right, let's hop back. AJ and Dylan, let's ask you guys on this one. So Backlash just announced for St. Louis, May the 10th.
Right down the road.
Yeah, not too far from us here. I'm got prior arrangements already that day. But you guys, what are you guys going to take off and maybe go see the show?
Wait, what do you mean prior arrangement? Do you have like a hair appointment?
I have tickets to see Nate Bargatze. Actually, I have tickets to see Nate Bargatze.
He's good.
In Peoria. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll make a little trip down to old St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm checking out.
When was the last time we were in St. Louis? I don't know.
We were there for
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, that's right.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that match with Seth Rollins, if any of you haven't played this in Showcase Mode, WWE 2K25, don't listen for the next 30 seconds.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. That match we were at, where him and Roman and Seth fought, and Seth won, never lost. That's in the Showcase Mode of the game this year.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I pointed out, the arena is not the exact same, but I pointed out that one little spot, and I was like, "Hey, there we are. You can't really see us, but that would be us."
I looked at the star, and I was like, "Well, the star on fire is right there, so we would be over
we got to
there."
be over here. Yep.
The Rumble was at the old Rams Stadium. This one's going to be at the Enterprise Center, right? Yeah, so it'll be a smaller venue, but yeah. I would definitely want to go because I've been to, I don't know, probably a good handful, 5-6 St. Louis WWE shows, and I love the pops that Randy Orton gets.
Yeah,
they're so genuine, man. I just love them. I just love them. It's awesome, man. So that'd be cool. Did you guys get to Nate in the chat said, "Let's go! Can't wait for that. He's going to be there. Checking that out." It was like super quickly in the movie theater, but any of you guys get to see Queen of the Ring at all?
I didn't.
No, but I'm going to because
I actually wanted to though.
Same.
Definitely.
Okay, like why is everyone in like the show Arrow like just transitioning over to WWE?
So
at some
it
point?
took me a minute to realize where she was from.
Yeah,
and then
Arrow.
I was sitting there on the couch with Mrs. Primo. I was like, I saw the trailer again. I was like, wait a minute, because I watched Arrow back in the day, and then
Emily Bett Rickards or whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah, I do want to see it though. I haven't seen it yet, but
Is Arrow? Is
Yeah.
that like one
Dude,
of
look
those
at her
spin-off superhero CW shows?
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. Yeah,
I kind
Literally.
of thought, yeah, I remember.
one of the weaker ones too, but we don't
Right.
talk about that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I definitely want to see this. Like,
God,
you
she
know,
looks
I guess I'm gonna just
ripped.
buy it now when it
She's
comes out on
jacked.
DVD or something. But yeah,
Wait,
I heard it's
DVD?
good. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm the same way. It was in my local theater for like a week total, and it just
Yeah.
didn't work out where I got to go. So it'll be a streaming one for me.
AJ,
are
go
you-
fuck yourself. I'm a physical
are-
media guy.
Are you gonna take the trolley car down to Battery Park to go to the store jobber to pick
I
up?
just might because I'm about to be fucking 50 years old, so I'm old. So yeah, maybe I will, asshole. But
I miss DVDs.
I know they're coming back, man. Physical media is cool again.
I'm okay with that.
Right.
I love those Cactus DVDs.
Exactly. Me too. Legendary.
Well, yeah, because you get bonus DVDs with your Cactus
All
DVDs.
right. Hot stuff topic number 4. Yeah.
Porn.
Yeah. You never
Maybe.
know what you're gonna get on Whatnot. You know, not just Timu's, Whatnot too.
That's
so.
a good bonus. That's just,
Yeah,
it's
it's
advertising
good.
for them.
It's like a
All right.
$10. That's
$10.
$10 whatnot.
All
right, let's-
porn.
All of us guys, let's talk AEW for a second. I got 2 quick topics. First of all, Speedball Mike Bailey just signed with AEW. Do you guys think this is a good signing, big signing for him, or just, he definitely shores up the roster a little bit? I mean, he's different. He's not my cup of tea, but I don't hate on him. Like, I mean, he's got skill, but like, you know, he's a different kind of wrestler, right?
I think he'll fit right in with the AEW roster, that style. He's different, but he's not a whole lot different than a lot of the guys they have on their roster. Stick him in there with the Osprey and the Omega and the Takeshita, and they'll
Right.
tear it down and keep doing what they have been doing.
What do you guys think about Speedball?
He's kind of carny. I think and I say this like not as like a jab or anything, because it's wonderful. Like, it's a good part of wrestling, but I feel like he fits perfectly in with like the carny side of AEW. Like, there's which there is a sizable portion. So I like it. I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't I don't really have a problem with him in AEW. I don't know if he quite matches their vibe, in my opinion. I'd say he'd be good. Like, what's that one? They do the Bloodsport event.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
Van Damme.
Rob Van Dam, or fucking John Claude Van Damme.
Josh Barnett.
Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So that, or like, and he was actually like his. It's maybe because he was on TNA for a while, so it's like that's just where I see him.
Sure.
Like that's where you fit for me. Go or
Right.
MLW.
Yeah.
MLW would be a good fit for him.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that too, but I didn't know enough to say that. But yeah, I think MLW.
Yeah, Nate in the chat made a good point. He said that he could run it back with Will Ospreay. There've been some decent runs there. Yeah. The next topic is I didn't get a chance to watch Dynamite live last night. You probably already know where I'm going if we get there. But
Nailed it.
holy shit, did you see the John Moxley pulling nails out of his back spot?
Gross.
That was
Yeah.
gross.
Yikes,
That's
my
fucking
God.
gross.
brother.
Oh
It was
man.
stuck in his back.
Oh,
Yeah.
the skin pulling is what made me like cringe. Like it looked
Yeah.
like, oh, but I was here for it, man. Like I'm not a Moxley guy, but I was like, oh my god, dude, you're insane. Like, oh man, that was wild, dude. That was wild.
Yeah, no,
AEW is different, man.
That was crazy. I don't know about that, man. Like I feel like obviously
I'll take it.
obviously the deal's gimmicked up, right? But
You would think, but apparently not.
still, when you fucking do a suplex onto it, I mean,
yeah.
Jesus,
Right.
Plus the amount of force that he had to hit to make it drive in, because there's a lot of surface area.
the
for
first thing I thought of was his
nails.
vertebrae.
Yeah.
like
Right.
he stabbed into his
Yeah.
vertebrae, which that'd have been gnarly.
Oh man,
It's gross
that
either
could-
way.
yeah. I mean, how many times have we see a bad or a crazy spot like that and we go, well, it could have been way worse. You know, you could have, what I
Right.
mean? It's like inches. You know what I mean? It's like inches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was
Oh.
gross.
It made me stop and watch though, because I was
Sure.
just kind of in and out, not really paying attention. Again, another Mox and Copeland match, whatever. But then
Yeah.
that happened, and I was like, "Oh, whoa, what's going on? Okay, this is different. This is insane."
Yeah.
So yeah, it got my attention.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was all over Twitter, like so many, like it was wild as Yuta trying to pull it out, and he can't get it out, and he's got to get to his next spot. You know what I mean? To like keep this thing going.
Yeah,
But it looks like the ref popped it out just in time. But
he had to have help. A lot of people seem to that I've seen out there share your same sentiment, though, of like it was already bad. But then it was worse when they were trying to do that.
Like trying to excise it from the situation made it so much worse. Because maybe like you said, like the skin, like
no, it was so plasticky looking, like just Ew.
So like, is Renee just like this is just another Wednesday night now, or is Renee back there like freaking out, like what's going on? Is my husband going to have it back after this? Like,
and not only
that, how normal is that?
Do you think when he got back, like she like took him aside and was like, "Come on, man! Like, you have a child. Like, what are you doing?"
And not only that, but I read that he was having travel issues, so he drove like 11 hours.
10 hours,
yeah, for that. Like, like, dude, you're a madman.
That's insane.
Yeah. I want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook right now. Be sure to give us a subscribe and follow, and also thank everybody listening on Apple, Spotify, all those podcast platforms out there, and everybody listening on SportsWire Radio. Go check out www.sportswireradio.org. All right, hot start topic number 5, boys. We got to circle back now. It's been a minute. Cena had the turn. So what was your reaction of Cena's speech from Belgium? So a couple notes from it here, just, to kind of remind you. So he said he was basically, he's been a victim for all these years. He's breaking up with his fans. Cody comes out, and calls him, a whiny bitch. He was basically calling everybody that ever bought a Cena shirt fake. You know what I mean? And it was this kid hollers out, "I love you."
Oh my god, dude.
10 seconds later, Cena's like damning him to hell for wearing the shirt. You know what I mean? Like,
he looked like Uter from The Simpsons. I kept calling him Uter during that second.
So what'd you guys think about his his retort there?
Me and my son sat right over there on the couch together, side by side, just like watching this together. And when he goes like, those that support me, the let's go Cena people, and my son goes, that's us.
That's me and you, Dad.
Yeah,
me and you, Dad.
He's like because John Cena's the greatest. And then next thing John Cena just shits all over it. And I looked at my son, I go, yeah, he's talking about us.
Yep.
My problem with this is, like, don't get me wrong, I love the heel turn. I think it's fantastic. But there's real life evidence that this character is, it's like, so like, there's no such thing as kayfabe anymore, but this is like so kayfabe shattered. It's like, you literally are the best person in the history of like the Make-A-Wish Foundation. There are like 700 like sick kids who can attest to what a good person you are.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not believable. I wish they would have
gone
a different angle.
He said, "I'm not a face. I'm not a heel. I'm a human."
Good human.
You're like the best.
I would like to point out that he said he broke up with me, so that implies that me and John Cena were dating.
Right.
Same.
I kind of figured.
Same.
Yeah, same with
No, I liked it. I think it left. It was a good start and leaves a lot of room for them to go between now and Mania. It wasn't like this big blow off right at the beginning. I really liked when he was like, "You all want me to change my music? Want me to change my outfit?" Whatever he said, outfit or whatever. And he's like, "No, I'm not doing this for you. You all would like that. This is for me. I'm going to keep doing what I have been doing. That's my voice on the song. I'm not changing it just for you." I thought that was a cool.
That was cool.
Spot. Yeah, I liked it.
Right. What did everybody talk about all week, or since he did it, including us?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How's it gonna look? New music.
What does Primo feel like getting dumped so publicly?
That's right. Dude, that kid's face.
Uter. Gotta love Uter.
John checking in on the chat, not Cena, but Reese says he
Watch it.
trademarked Break-A-Wish instead of Make-A-Wish. Break-A-Wish now.
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. It was very clever. So, fuck them kids. You know what I mean? Like that's what he said. That's what I said last pod. That's what he said basically to all of us. And our kids. So, I just redid my son's room and I, put up like 3 or 4 Cena posters,
dude.
And like,
That makes it so much better.
Yeah, weird about it.
I love that I got to live that moment with my son right there.
Right.
Just sitting with me watching it.
Yeah. How great was it too that Raw was what? What, AJ?
Your son, it was just the sweetest kid ever. Like, just Cena posters all over.
Yeah.
Cena's like, fuck them kids.
I have this video of my son when
That's
John
funny.
Cena got put into Fortnite like a year or 2 ago. And my son's doing like John Cena dance and you can't see me and like going nuts.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing.
Shout out to Brussels, man. Like I love these tours,
Right.
man. I can dig some Monday Night Raw on a 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock afternoon, on a Monday, man. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the first time I seen them, or maybe I paying attention that they censored them saying "fuck you, Cena" on Netflix.
What was that about?
Yeah. I was like, Netflix? I'm like, all right. But probably because it lasted for so long, too, because they did it for a while. So
Yeah.
let's go, Cena. Fuck you, Cena.
By the way, which one of you mentioned how awesome foreign crowds are? Because they really, really are. Like, I think that they should just move the entire thing.
I think we talked about it before, like with like Clash at the Castle and Backlash
Singing.
in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Like, anytime that they take a show to a different country, the crowds are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, they make the show. And so I think that no show should be in America ever again.
Yeah, I agree, too.
They show us what we should appreciate.
Yes.
Right.
Like,
And
they aren't smarky assholes. Like,
right. And like I don't remember, they didn't try to hostile take over the show. Like Brussels is probably number 1 on my list right now too. You know what I mean? So and they didn't boo our national anthem. At least they didn't show us they did. I don't know. It's a
Thank
joke.
God.
Anyway.
Wait, did they seriously not boo it?
No, I don't know. I mean,
They didn't do
They
it.
already do that before Raw comes on. So but all right, boys, that's going to do it for the hot start, Primo. It's time to get to the drop kick discussion of the week. But before we do, let's get to a guy that, like, I really felt like this was the most nervous I'd ever been interviewing a guest on a podcast. We had Levi Cooper on the podcast. He was former tag team partner with Otis.
Tucky.
Yeah, in Heavy Machinery, Tucker Knight. And this was our first big kind of get as a podcast, so this was
cool, man.
Yeah, this was a big deal for us. Cool. And I'm always shocked when they say yes, but he said yes, and it was great, man. It was phenomenal. So let's hear a word from Levi.
This is Levi Cooper, and you're listening to the Sit Down Marks with DB, Primo, and AJ.
He knows our names.
I'm gonna have to go back through all the wrestling intros and be like, and Dylan.
And sometimes Michael.
sometimes Michael.
Yep.
Oh man, that was cool though.
Let's see here.
What is Levi Cooper doing now?
It was like episode 26, I think.
Horticulture and
something like that. When
I don't know, I made that up. He might really like plants.
Maybe.
Botany. Maybe he became an arborist.
Yeah,
yes,
maybe
he loves
so.
trees.
Lots of people I know like trees, so
Especially arborists.
right.
I don't want to meet an arborist who doesn't like trees.
That would be weird.
Like, what are you doing in that field if you don't like fucking trees?
Yeah,
You weirdo?
really look at that stud.
Yeah.
The
All right,
one on
boys. Let's get to the dropkick discussion of the week. Let's get to it before you guys start commenting on it. All right, so dropkick discussion of the week, boys. 4-year anniversary pod. from March the 17th. I don't know why I decided to start this shit on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, what is wrong with
I
you?
don't even know. But St. Patrick's Day of 2021, me and Primo and a guy named Zicky sat down to do our first podcast. Zicky did, I think, maybe 2 pod with us, and that was basically the last time I ever talked to him. But God bless and good luck to him, man. But I haven't seen him in ever forever. So, but Primo, you and I had this idea, of kind of putting this, pod together. We didn't really kind of know, what we were going to do, say, or whatever, and I kind of put, something together. I was like, I'm just hoping to have a podcast that lasts for about 45 minutes. And I think we went like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, like we went nearly 2 hours.
You can see that first one.
Yeah.
How crazy is it? So, little backstory. We're on episode 152 now, but before episode 1, me and DB had little to no FaceTime. We did a little tester before this episode, and before that, we met through video games. So, all you that don't like video games, you do actually meet people.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law had got me into a Madden league, and I'll still smoke anyone out there at Madden.
Yes, he will.
Me and DB were in the same Madden league, and then I got to follow, and I became, pretty active on Twitch. He was active on Twitch at the time, doing other ventures, and I was following him one day, and he made a Macho Man impression, and I was like, wait a minute, don't tell me this bastard likes wrestling, and I didn't know it this whole time we've been in these Madden leagues. And then, long story short, he reaches out to me, hey, man, you like, wrestling too? We did this thing, and he's like, you want to start a pod? I was like, I talk about wrestling anyway, so here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, and to kind of get you to the podcast world, so a lot of people don't know this about me, but before I started this podcast, I was an online race broadcaster.
Yes.
So I used that software to put this podcast together. I was sponsored by an apparel company called Coastland Apparel. I was sponsored, well, sort of in a way, through Rowdy Energy.
Fuck that.
The worst energy drink ever, and they've since then folded.
Oh no!
Yeah,
it's because we stopped drinking it.
So I brought those over, and I check kind of did all kind of brought those over with me and kind of put that all together. So it was very, very put together from that. So just kind of give you an idea of what this thing was like. Here's what it sounded like when we kicked off our first show. All right, there we go. Fixing my sound there. Sorry about that. All right, so what we got going on here, guys, is we're going to talk about a lot of wrestling. We're going to talk about current wrestling. We're going to talk about some old wrestling, just a whole lot of wrestling. We're just a couple of marks here, just looking to have a little fun. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this here as we go. Look at Primo. Along our very first edition here of Sit Down Marks. So we'll explain everything to you here as we go. But first of all, I want to introduce myself. I am your heel Hurst, the Dirty Bird. Yeah. I got my my co-host, baby-faced Mr. That way. Baby-faced Mr. Booker Ziggy, and downstairs the third man in the ring from the land of the rattlesnake. Everybody, welcome Mr. Primo. Say hello, guys.
What's up, everybody?
Look, all right, so called all these guys here. First of all, I want to thank Coastland Apparel for sponsoring us today. I got the threads on here, rocking the hat. So, all right, so that's pretty much irrelevant. The rest of it that way, but
that is amazing for so many reasons.
That's a historical artifact.
Yeah,
whole lot of wrestling.
DB, your accent was so much more. It was so thick.
He had way more twang.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. My setup was terrible. Fun fact: you guys remember I didn't let y'all curse, and you remember that?
PG at first,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
We didn't let loose for a couple episodes.
Yeah. Then after a while, I was like, just screw it, man. We'll just let it rip,
and
man.
That's because we always accidentally cursed anyway.
We did.
Yeah.
I felt
also,
like my first.
That shirt I was wearing, I still have that shirt. I just got fat. That freaking what I love about that too was the headset Dirty was wearing, because he used to have so many problems with that damn headset.
I did, man. I did, and all those like like I said, I was very non-techie, you know what I mean? So I was figuring things out as I go. I'm like, screw it, we'll let it ride, and all that kind of stuff. But oh man, it was just
We've come a long
it's
way.
just off. We've come a long way. So
You were a heel Hearst.
Yeah. So
What's
now
a heel
I know, yeah, right. I was already tripping over words, just yeah. So Primo's got a little clip here for us. So let's hear how the first episode ended.
Our go home.
That will close the show here on this very first episode. I hope everybody tuning in, enjoy themselves. We'll bring Chris back in or Ziggy back in here with us another time. So he got disconnected. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Primo, thank you for coming on here with us. Looking forward to many more of these shows. We'll be back here the same time next week. Maybe we'll try to start a little earlier. And get done so you guys can get to NXT. So we will but first show, man, I thought it went really great. So
no, it didn't. It didn't.
It didn't.
Tell
you the story of
we had
Sit Down
high
Marks
hopes,
next
man.
time when on episode 2 here next Wednesday. So thank all you guys, and we'll see you
soon. That North Carolina is coming out.
That North Carolina.
Yeah, I want to thank my buddy Joey Eisenhower for stopping in. It's one of my best buddies from back home. He's asking if I'm from North Carolina. I mean, obviously, you hear that thick ass accent, that's where I'm from. So okay, so we get through that first year, Primo, and then we got a little 1 year clip here we want to play for you too. It's kind of funny. Here we go.
Man, what a year it was.
Today is extra special. Today is our 1 year anniversary. Happy birthday to us, Primo and AJ. Welcome, boys. We are officially a year old.
Woo!
How about it?
I'm very excited. Very, very excited. Also, I'm excited to be back. I missed a great episode last week. But who cares about that? It's our 1 year anniversary. A year! We made it a year. I cannot fucking believe
that. That is correct. We made it a whole year.
Oh, baby Primo.
I am gonna crack a cold one, not because tomorrow is St. Patty's Day, but today is 3/16.
Never changed.
Happy 3/16.
Nothing changed.
Happy Steve Austin Day on our 1 year anniversary.
Happy birthday to us. Happy anniversary, boys. We did it. You could say we are legit podcasters now, apparently. So we already lit the world on fire. We're gonna do it again for year number 2.
Yeah. Apparently that's the metric. If it's you make it a year, you're good to go. And
officially podcasters.
Couple things about that. We thought because we did the year, we're now official.
Right.
AJ's already missing episodes. And I'm still drinking.
Yeah. It's funny, man, because back then a year or so ago, I used to tell people like, don't listen to the first 50. It's like start like 51. Now I say, don't listen to the first 100.
Yeah.
Start at 101.
Start at like 140.
Start at 101. Yeah, because we figured it out. So we heard AJ talking in that clip. So we also have a clip of when AJ was on the pod for the very first time. Here it is.
Episode 4.
4. Here we go.
4.
Hello, guys. Welcome to Sit Down Marks here.
Audio
still sucks. With the Dirty Bird. You're watching Dirty Bird 33 TV.
The game.
Thank you guys for joining us here today. We are. This is episode number 4 of Sit Down Marks. We made it 4 episodes, 4 Horsemen episodes. Glad you guys are with us here tonight. So we're going to dive into it here. I'm your heel host, Dirty Bird. We are missing Ziggy tonight. He is having some internet issues.
I do think that was the last.
Won't be with us, but we got Mr. Primo himself, the Texas Rattlesnake, the original.
The OG. Who's that? Steve
And tonight, our special guest, please welcome Mr. The Markiest Mark of all Marky Marks, the Mark himself. Everybody welcome AJ. Thanks for being here, AJ.
I mean, you had to be on the pod with that nickname, right?
Yes, it was destined.
Happy to have you, man.
He was so quiet back then.
And I was I just like yelling from my house, and that was actually your microphone picking me up.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
I'm glad to be here.
and then episode 10, we had your brother Michael on. Michael's a busy man, so he'll be on the pod sporadically. But there was a stretch where, if you were listening to the pod, he was on it. So he was on episode 10. So, all right. So after that, we're partnering with indie companies, working, going to shows, and we start to see Dylan at shows, I think, right? Or I think we might have saw you at St. Louis Anarchy. Did he just fucking freeze right when he did?
Right when
we're about to enter. Oh, there he is. Okay.
He was ribbing you.
All right.
That's where I met Dylan, was at one of the Anarchy shows that we
went. I'm good. Yeah.
The outdoor show Anarchy we saw you at was Macabre, Jeremy Wyatt, I think.
Was that the one that was freezing cold?
It was like October. It was an October show.
No, that's so the Macabre one was the one before it was freezing cold.
Okay.
And I think, if I remember right, we may have introduced ourselves, may have just been sitting by each other.
Yeah.
Just very, nothing real formal, just kind of a bump into each other.
Yeah.
And then in between
I brought you
show,
a corsage. What do you mean?
No, that was the So, and then in between the Macabre show and the freezing cold October show, I started listening to the pod. I think we started talking between those two. And then so the freezing cold was the Halloween show. And that was the first time I broke out the Terry Funk costume.
Yes.
You both came over and I was like, oh, I love the costume. And then we hit it off from there and started talking more and going from there. If I remember.
We did.
Yeah, and then the first time I saw you was we went to Royal Rumble in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I was down in the lobby looking for Dirty. AJ was late as usual. And I was looking around like a lost puppy. I had my sit down Mark's hoodie on. And you were sitting down and you're like, Primo?
I was like, that's gotta be Primo.
I got noticed in the wild.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
I wasn't that late.
So we get to talking.
You made about showtime.
Yeah.
So we get to talking, and eventually, Dylan comes on as a guest to talk. So we got a little clip here of when Dylan was on the first night. Here we go. What is up, people? Yes, we are alive after an action-packed weekend of wrestling. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 61 of the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best kept secret in all of wrestling podcasts. Thank you, T.W. Ward, as usual, for that beautiful intro. The
Back
voice
when he used to intro
of
us, yeah.
Memphis wrestling.
We used to have the longest
and today,
intro.
boys, we have ourselves, we got us a little, we got us a guest here today, man. So got to break out a little fucker music for him.
Awful.
Joining us today,
Awful audio.
none other than our buddy. We met this guy at St. Louis Anarchy, and next thing you know, we've been hanging out. He went to the Royal Rumble with us, so it was only inevitable that we had to bring him onto the pod. Welcome for the first time, Dylan. What is up, our brother, man?
What's up, guys? Thank you so much. I've peaked. I've made it to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Oh, Dylan. You need higher peaks, my friend.
You're looking better than ever in that Sit Down Marks t-shirt that somebody might have gave you here. I'm not saying any names but mine, but you're looking better than ever, brother. Welcome to the podcast officially.
Oh, that was that was charming.
Yeah, what I love about that is how excited he was.
Yeah.
And then we rushed that excitement.
What I know now.
So let's talk about some so Dylan, obviously, we became friends since then. Obviously every Dreamwave show, with Dylan, we have breakfast on Sunday mornings or Saturday mornings with Tori. You know what I mean? We've all, gotten to, be tight and stuff. And, since then you evolved to, being on the podcast. But that same night that I believe all that went down is when we got the Big Beef soundbite that you can hear the mat bouncing in the background, which that's always nostalgia for me because Beef was kind of the wrestler that I was talking to a lot at the shows. I was a big fan of him because, he looked like my style of wrestler, it still is, you know what I mean? And so I kind of, took to him, the Scenic City. He was, I'd been talking to him down there, he was I think on the Future show. Might have been the one that Manders was on with him. Anyway, but yeah, so Beef episode 16. Thank you, Beef, if you ever hear this, once again, for being our first guest. And then we're partnered with SportsWire Radio, and so then we get introduced about this guy named Ryan Paul Davies. His name RPD, a boxer turned wrestler. He was episode 19, our next guest. And then, believe it or not, like I always felt like this one was later, but Daniel Makabe, that was episode 21.
Early.
It was early.
Yeah, it was early, man. So thank you again for coming on. So, and then
That was when we sponsored the tournament.
Yeah, that's right. We sponsored a tournament. I think I sponsored a Dominic Guarini, Matthew Justice match.
At the
Invitational, something like that. No, I think it was like Paradigm Pro Wrestling, maybe.
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
around the same time.
That sounds right. Yeah.
All right, so I think in the course of these 4 years, maybe I've missed 3 pods.
Yeah.
But AJ,
Primo and I had to do one of them.
AJ and Primo have jumped in. You guys interviewed Trevor Outlaw without me. I remember that one.
That was
a fun interview.
Yeah, you guys interviewed Bucky Collins without me, but
yes,
there was quite the blooper reel that came from this Bucky Collins interview. Let's take a listen.
Yep, and I don't think he remembers.
Good evening, Marks. No shit. Hold on. I always know what I'm gonna say, and then it takes me like three times to actually say it.
Yeah, I got to where I had to type it out.
Like, Bucky, I'm like a reporter, and I'm still bad. Like my actual job's a reporter, and I'm still awful at this.
Hey, it's all good.
Like
I've been hitting the head enough times. I skip over my words all the time.
They're not promoting me anytime soon. And they didn't. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Good evening, Marks. Tonight we will have a chat with the former PGP franchise champ, former 2-time IWA Mid-South Light Heavyweight champ, Zawa World Fireweight Tag Team champs, and current Zawa Tag Team champion. So please join us with no fucking shit. Good. Balls, fuck, shit, fuck. I have to get all that out too.
Perfect intro.
I know, right? I think we should see all this.
Yeah. Oh man.
So please join us with two out of your 3 favorite wrestling nerds as we welcome Bucky Collins. Bucky, thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, that didn't make the final cut.
Oh my god!
I don't know why.
So back yes, I was a reporter. Like that was my job,
right?
And if it like comes to like talking to a wrestler, I'm just like,
right. Fun fact too,
Bucky was a good sport.
Yep. Fun fact too, not on YouTube or Facebook, but as far as downloads on the podcast platforms, Bucky Collins interview still remains our number 1 podcast ever. I don't know what number it is. It was the same one that it was the same one that we did our top 5 most hated wrestlers on too. So it was a nice little combo there. So
I'm not surprised. Bucky he's just awesome. Like he's still one of my favorites. Like him and Trevor Outlaw are like my 2 favorites.
Trevor Outlaw, was he the only one we did that he stayed in character?
The whole time. Yes, he did. And it was fucking amazing.
Yep.
I loved it.
And then also, let's see, it was in 2021. We got Rick Marcus from SportsWire Radio.
That's
we
right.
got Hell yeah.
Cumbrian Outlaw.
Ishmael Vaughn. Yeah, I believe I did him solo.
Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, he's making a name there too. I want to say too is how dedicated me and Primo were, because to talk to RPD and
yes,
and Rick Marcus over in the UK, we had to do the interview at like 6 a.m.
That's
yes,
right.
Yeah,
I remember being like, "Yeah, fuck you guys, have fun."
Yes. Yeah. So. Just a quick rundown of some people we've had on the pod in case you want to go back and check them out. So 2021 we had Levi Cooper, we just talked about earlier, Trevor Outlaw, Hartenbauer for the first time, Billy
Also
Starks, episode 43. You know, she was just
Early.
on Dynamite last night. Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah, 2022, we had Mr. Havens, Gage Bright, ring announcer, Gary fucking J, earmuffs, sorry, Joe, John, whatever your name is in the chat. Sabotage Sean Logan, Connor Hawkins was on, Corn Boy, Sam Beal that we heard leading in, Slammer, and then the guy that has been on the pod the most, Christian Rose.
Christian
we
Rose.
had him on in 2022.
Actually, he's one of my favorites too. God damn it! Like they're all my fucking favorites.
Yeah,
he's been on them. He's been a lot. Hartenbauer's been on a lot.
Yeah. So we get to the segment. And I want to get to it since Thomas is in the chat right now. But this is the time where SportsWire Radio really helped us a lot. With when we started having guests on the pod. He was helping out a lot. I was asking him for advice. You know what I mean? He had this sports report show that was very popular in SportsWire Radio, and I remember, you guys remember this graphic, we're showing it right now on YouTube. And
absolutely, yeah.
Our first graphic with SportsWire Radio. Back then it was called Sportinarium. And
look at us on Twitch.
Came first, and we were live on Twitch for the first couple ones, and I thought, man, we've arrived. We got a fucking graphic, baby. Sorry, earmuffs.
Look at our logo.
Yeah, look at our logo.
We're on a
Sportinarium.
I will always remember, real quick, that after we got on Sportinarium, we were so hyped. We all texted each other when we heard it that first Friday night.
Yep.
And then the three of us were together at the cabin. And we heard it together come on a Friday night at the cabin.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was amazing. It's super cool. We this motivated us like never before. I remember they had like this little remix that came on like right before our pod played. Just an awesome, fun time for the pod. I can't thank Thomas Bryce and everybody there enough. Boy, have we come a long way since then. Now it's sportswireradio.org. Our pod is still played by there, thanks to the blessings of Thomas Bryce, and a lot of people get to know our names. We get to stay up on a lot of UK wrestlers and the action over there, and so still can't thank SportsWire Radio and Thomas Bryce enough for helping us out. But this is when I really felt like we had arrived is when we got on there. So all right, and then we started partnering up with companies. We Iron Spirit Pro, Zawa Wrestling, High Voltage out of Illinois, all these companies that would let us come in and help out, give away stickers and whatever free merch we had, and this is how we got to meet Hartenbauer. And now Hartenbauer is like, he's a good friend of mine now because of, friends, in podcasts. Now it's turned into working together at Dreamwave, and it's wild where this podcast is taken, and I'm very, very happy for it. And I felt like we really started getting our name out there, and it was another big, huge, proud moment for me when I started seeing our banner on the walls of Dreamwave Wrestling on IWTV live all over the world. I was like, man, this is great, man. Like the work's paying off. You know what I mean? And since then, that first day I showed up like a wrestler and helped put the ring together, and AJ was there too and busted ass. And
hell yeah.
Just to put my banner up on the wall that said "Sit Down Marks" on it. You know what I mean? Like, that was it. You know what I mean? So those days of grinding like that, now it's turned to a big partnership. It's a blessing. Just kind of show you how things all like come back in. Next week, Jay Repsol that owns Dreamwave is doing his State of Dreamwave address on our podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
let's go.
Yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? So it's cool, man. And I'm super, super, excited and happy and just proud of where, this thing's going, and so shout out to the people that we did collaborations with. A work in progress, probably the number one Primo, you've been on some. I think AJ
Yep.
might have been on some.
Yeah,
Me and AJ went on, and we. That's actually where I was taught by the dudes on that podcast that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's real name is Dick Blood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I love
And you know, there's the funny thing about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, AJ.
What is there, AJ? About what's the funny thing about? Well, hang on. There's a famous quote that came from this particular saying. You know.
I mean, it's not funny. Like the dude has it all. You know,
Hold on, I might have it here.
Oh
yeah, Ricky checked all the boxes. He was tan. He was Asian. The girls loved him.
That's there it is.
That's Ricky in a nutshell, right there.
I had to mute my mic. I was shitting myself. I was laughing so hard after he said he was tan, he was Asian, ticked all the boxes.
Yeah, like I was describing, you know, what women find attractive in wrestlers, and like that's what I came to, like the old Dick Blood.
Ricky
there.
had it all, man.
Yeah. Shout out to AWI Pod though. I think they have us on. Yeah, I don't know what happened to them either. But yeah, and anybody that's had us on, thanks for collaborating with us. If you happen to be listening to this,
especially if you're tan and Asian.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. DB collabed with some not too long ago. I collabed with Fresh Blurred Air the end of last year. Like, you know, any of us shows out there just wanting to talk about wrestling. I mean, the more of us, the better, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's great stuff.
Yeah. Let's look at some old podcast logos, man. You know, from you know, let's start at the one in the very beginning.
Hell yes. What is that clip art? Like, what is that?
I love it.
I always wonder where
the
that came from.
Yeah, that's the OG. I made this somehow on my phone. You know, it's you know, this was the one when we were just live on Twitch. If you're watching right now on YouTube and Facebook, I'm got it up on the screen. But yeah, and just, you know, figured out some way out because I wanted to. Looks like I ripped off somebody's photo or something. There's a watermark in it, but I mean, you know, I was just trying to crank out something that I could get a sticker and, you know, get the word out there. So, you know, it was that one, and then, you know, and then this one came along when I found this little wrestler dude. I thought it looked pretty cool. I thought I could put a "I love wrestling" tattoo on his arm, and this one AJ came on.
Yeah,
this one AJ came on.
That was my first logo.
Yeah, so AJ came on here, and then, you know, we thought, okay, you know, not really, but we need something that has like us on it, you know, like our face. And I think we hit up. I think it was maybe AJ's a friend of yours, your sister, maybe.
It was my sister Krista.
Yeah, and she
look at that.
She come up with this logo because we had the idea of let's all wear certain wrestlers' face paint. I'm wearing.
I like how you guys went retro and I didn't.
Hawk,
Darby Allin.
AJ is Surfer Sting paint, and
goddamn right. On
Primo
on
did
Dylan's shirt right now.
Yeah, Dylan did Darby. So you know, I just thought, you know, I always thought like, you know, face logos were like kind of funny. So, you know, I thought it looked funny.
And I love those logos.
Yeah, and I think
that's the first one I remember seeing.
That's like our classic iconic logo there.
Yeah, and and you know, it's morphed. You know, we've dropped the live Wednesdays, and, you know, just had the sit down Marks, you know, podcast, you know, now on it. But yeah, it's you know, had like small little variations, but
that's the first one we put on a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's the first one we put on a t-shirt. Yeah, so there's been other ones, you know, that have come around. There was one we had for a while. We had like a Thump logo that was like a Junkyard Dog looking chain that, you know, but, you know, that was nice. But since then, like I'm really, really happy about our logo right now, because I really love this one. It simulates kind of a meaning, and like I keep finding meanings in it. You know, like maybe I'm just looking, but like, you know, that's always looked like Kurt Angle to me, and Kurt is special in our podcast because we had a segment.
Yes,
we'll talk about shortly, called the Kurt Angle Trophy segment, where we would all try to win this trophy from each other. That was supposedly Kurt Angle, really wasn't, but kind of looked a lot like him. And then you know, since then there's 4 stars on the logo. We're from 4 different states. You know what I mean? So with, you know, when Michael's involved, so, you know, but But yeah, but Matt, yeah, I really love this logo. It looks great on stickers. It's sleek. Good job, Primo. Love it, bro.
Looks good on golf.
I don't even
Thanks.
know how you even put this together, but you sent it to me one day, and I'm like, that is it. That's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna get into in the weeds with it, but I look for inspiration everywhere whenever I try to make these things. And I like clean and minimal, so that's kind of where that comes out.
Yeah. And this one looks good on everything I've had it printed on, banners, stickers,
I also like symmetry.
Yeah. And so, super happy with that one. And since I actually don't have the actual updated one, since then, Primo's updated a little more with the American flag and the established 2021 on it. It looks even more super cool, man. So, yeah, so let's get through that. And
there it is. Yeah,
there's AJ with a Marks golf ball.
Yeah, I like how AJ's wearing the like random shirt logo I made.
This is my favorite one, actually. This like because it's like the Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, exactly what I was going for too.
Shirt.
Yep. Yes, I don't know if I wrote that down, but we'll go over that real quick. Primo has made a ton of design t-shirts on tpublic.com/sit-down-marks. Every guest that has been on our podcast, 99% has gotten a t-shirt. Yeah, there's
and we were talking about Hartman earlier. He posted on his Instagram, and he's been at wrestling events with our merch on.
Yeah. Wearing our fucking shirt.
Yeah,
and a more comical note that I forgot to mention earlier, but then that clip where we introduced Dylan, where we're talking about you were wearing this shirt. I love how Dirty puts himself over. He's like, I'm not gonna say any names who gave you that shirt, but
except mine.
Yeah.
Gotta slip it in there.
But I will say that behind baseball, a little bit, that's a lot of Dirty does a lot of the interactions and stuff like that people don't see and that we don't really. Me and AJ really keep our hands clean of. Dirty does all
the hustling aspect of it.
Yeah,
because DB, you hustle. You do things that I would never do. I remember you asked me if I would talk to Beef the first time to see if he would come on the show because I saw him at an Iron Spirit Pro show, or he was going to be at Iron Spirit Pro, and I that took me so much effort to go up to Beef and be like, "Hey, we had a podcast. You want to come on?" Where you'll just go out and be like, "Hey, look, I'm here. Buy our stuff. Come talk to us. I'm DB. Look at me go." It's really
also
impressive.
6'9", so.
Yeah.
And there's still people that, like Nick Aldis, I clammed up like a fucking, I don't know what, I didn't even know what the fuck, I broke out in sweats when I seen you know what I mean?
Did you get the vapors for Nick Aldis?
Yeah.
Got the vapors?
But, I'm just out there hustling, man, just like Dusty told Arn Anderson, go out there and get over, baby. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to try to do,
Well, it is impressive, and thank you, sir.
Very much appreciated.
No, that's part of it. I love hustling, you know what I mean, for the pod because it always helps us out in the end. So
I mean, the one guest I tried to get on, he never came on. So
fail.
Primo almost had Alex Shelley.
I did almost have Alex Shelley.
Oh man,
yeah, we almost had it, but
you almost had one and half of my favorite tag team of all time.
Their intro sucks now.
Yeah.
All the
let's move on, boys. Let's talk segments. Not that some failed. We had kind of a full reset. I'm gonna talk about that here shortly. A while beginning of the year, I think, when I was ready to take this thing, let's go to another level. But let's talk about some segments that we've had on this one before. I remember, we had a segment where it was called Pick Primo's Brain. Yeah, where I would, ask Primo questions about wrestling that he would know and probably nothing about, or something like that, or But our
mainly
most famous
stuff.
segment, is probably the Kurt Angle Trophy, where we would pick who wins and who we think was going to win in certain pay-per-views, and whoever got the win, would get the trophy, and whoever had it last, if you lost it, you would have to ship it in a box to whoever. Most of us end up shipping it back to Primo. He dominated most of it. most of the.
I don't have him upstairs, but I'm
Right.
sure he's up there going, "Hello, AJ. I'm still in Antonio's house. I love it over here."
I'm so happy here at home. Not at your dumb house. I think I spent more on postage sending that goddamn thing to you than I did on food most weeks.
How about AJ's movie of the week,
dude?
How about that one?
So those clips, I went through all of those earlier. There are so many of those because I still have all of them.
Yeah.
There's a part where I was doing this for weeks, and I would come on and I would, I
would go, and then suddenly AJ's movie of the week would
be a thing, and
yes.
I did AJ's book report of the week, AJ's cereal of the week, AJ's fucking Ric Flair Mountain Chew, whatever it was of the week.
Yeah.
At one point, the voice guy quit and came back. Like,
he was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Oh, it was so fun.
Those are always my favorites. Like, I would try and find like the most off the wall random stuff just so I could hear what you would come up with.
Me and AJ would text on the side, and he'd be like, "All right, this is what I got this week."
Oh, I used to love it so much. We need to bring that back. I did all the weird shit though, like there's
all the movies of movies
of the
and then I would
week.
give it a pause. Of the
week, yeah. We had AJ did wrestler birthdays. That was a thing.
King
Last
of the
Man
Mountain.
Standing. We did
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
did a
what it
lot
was.
of trivia.
Yeah.
I did a lot of trivia. Dropkick
Dylan dominated
discussion,
me
which
like a
has
week
since
ago.
returned. What's that?
I said Dylan dominated me like a week ago.
Yeah, I
But
feel like I
honestly,
wouldn't do well against Dylan. Like,
I'll be honest. When I go back and listen to old pods, my absolute favorite, and it was small and simple, but Papa the Pod was probably the most fun
Papa
for
the
me.
Pod.
just
That
'cause,
was good.
that was fun. I was like, oh, who do I want to play this week? Like, who, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was just fun. So,
Yeah.
it was crazy. So,
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, all these different segments. Just from my perspective as just a fan, when you guys are trying to pitch this pod, right? So
Right.
I go to look it up, and I see this podcast is like anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours.
Oh my god!
And I'm like,
yeah. Sorry
man,
about
I don't
that.
know if I would just like add some random 3-hour wrestling podcast, but I was, I'll try one.
Sure.
And I listened to it, and it's broke up into all these different segments. I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's not like just 3 hours of nonstop talk about whatever was on TV that week. I was like, there's a bunch of different fun stuff they're throwing in. So that like it helped break it up and helped like not make it so monotonous of, well, here's what Robin did this week, and here's what AEW did this week. And
So
yeah, it was fun.
We used to have an agenda every week.
We did.
And
Oh my God.
DB would type them up,
Send 'em out.
and bless him for doing it. But we had like a 3-page agenda at one
It would
point.
be, man. It would.
I
be.
remember
But
it
I would.
from
I'm
the-
very.
yeah.
You probably got one when you're on the.
Yeah,
But
on the
like,
guest, yeah.
I was very articulate. I wanted to be transparent as possible. Write everything down or fucking type everything. You know what I mean? And so.
But it was good because it kept us organized.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
thing
I
is
mean,
like we
It
started,
attempted to keep
and
us
when we
organized.
first started, me and you were just talking wrestling, and we had a loose agenda.
Sure.
But then we started adding segments, and they were like, "All right, we like these segments."
Yeah.
So then we're gonna start placing these segments, and then we didn't get rid of segments. Next thing you know, we got this day in history. We got wrestler birthdays. We got fucking
Yeah.
squared circle questions. We got everything. Which, by the way, the games I love all of the games.
They were
Sure.
always my
They
favorite.
were.
Music
They were.
class, I love music class.
Music class fun. AJ's
I was
gimmick
so
infringement.
bad at music class. I never won once at music class. I'm a huge music fan.
Yeah,
The fuck?
those were fun. Those were fun. So, but yeah, so we've had all these different segments. We've since kind of had like a reset, because the pod was evolving. I knew we kind of couldn't stay in those, doing it the same way because, believe it or not, like I listen to a lot of people talk about podcasts, what people listen to, why they listen to it, how long, all this kind of stuff. So like I just kind of felt like we needed to evolve, because it says now, like I read stuff all the time, and some stuff like like most people listen to a podcast an hour or less, as we're an hour 10 minutes over, but you know what I mean. So like so I come up with this idea. Let's try to get it to around an hour. Change up everything. I'm a big huge fan of Pardon the Interruption. I've watched that show on ESPN since it was in the beginning. I've always loved it. Like I watch or listen to that show every day or every other day. What I mean? And I wanted to take wrestling and put it into that format, which is what we are now, which I think is working out really good. And getting a lot of compliments on it, because in the beginning, podcasts were like 5 hours long, and like it just we were just eager and all that kind of stuff, but since then, it's evolved kind of like what it's settled kind of into now. But before we get out of here on this topic, just want to thank everybody. If you've listened to us from the beginning, or you just jumped on board, or maybe this is your first time, it's that'll always be like a part of our journey, like how bad we were, but good Lord, like, yes,
everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah, everybody starts somewhere, and we took our lumps just about, like everybody else. And, not saying that, that we're over or nothing, but it's doing better than it has a lot. The addition of Dylan, is helping a lot of the pod. And, I want to say this too, like meeting Tori from Top Row Baking has took our pod to another level too, because she's opened my eyes. I've never told her this, and I'm probably would, but she's opened my eyes to like other ways to like market the pod. Festivals, and like getting the pod out there, not just at wrestling shows and putting hands of wrestling fans, but just kind of like for. We see her a lot of wrestling shows. She's a big, huge wrestling fan. And, if something sucks or something's bad, she tells me, because I know she's a fan first, or, listen to it, first, and will be honest. And, and when something's good, she says it. When it's not, it's not. So, and she has a brain, because she has a business and company that she markets and stuff, so she's definitely helped us out a lot. So shout out to Tori, love you lots. Thank you for your help and support, all this stuff. And like I said, if you've ever downloaded or listened to a pod, thank you. And if you continue to tell a friend, we really appreciate it. But let's put a bow on this one, boys. 4 years, we're on our way now to 5 years.
That's right.
I don't know who it's going to be. I'm going to promise a big guest for year 5, because I told Primo I am. I'm going to shoot for the moon. Maybe Nick Aldis will walk by me again, and I'll say, "Hey, dude, got a 5-year pod coming up. What's up?" But
you're not doing nothing but GMing.
No,
so.
Yeah. But thank you, boys, Dylan and Primo, AJ. Thank you, guys. Michael, if you're listening to this, brother, thank you. And really do appreciate it. And onward and upward, man. Let's take this pod to the next level. So it's time to go home. Primo, let's hear from our good old buddy RPD.
Hello, guys. This is RPD, former professional boxer, now professional wrestler, and you're listening to Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Thank you, everybody listening on Apple, Spotify, all those podcast platforms out there, including Audible and sportswireradio.org. Thank you for checking us out. It's time to go home, Dylan. So what we got in the weekend preview this week, man, and what shows are you heading to?
Massive weekend this week. Maybe one of the busiest of the year so far.
Starting tonight, really.
Freelance kicks it off tonight. We got 2 ICW shows over in the UK. Revolver's back in action this week. Mm-hmm. Action is in action tomorrow night. Got CSW. It all wraps up with Alpha 1 up in Canada on Sunday. A lot going on this week. Not a lot of it streaming. Probably about half of it actually streaming. The other half is going to be on demand. I'm not going anywhere this weekend. Another lazy weekend. But then over the next 3 weeks, I have 6 different shows. So I gotta rest up this weekend. We're hitting it hard again starting next week.
Yeah, because Anarchy's back next weekend, right? So if you're new
Anarchy's
to the
back,
podcast, if you're new to the podcast, Dylan, he watches more wrestling, independent wrestling, than most of us forget that do watch it. And he's always up on the big shows coming up, and each and every podcast, he's going to give us the big shows going on each and every weekend. So, yeah, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. All right. Want to remind everybody to follow at Sit Down Marks on all those podcast platforms out there. And if you got a product or service you want to advertise or market to the Sit Down Marks fan base, give us a shout on social media, or you can give me a shout on email at dbonthemic@yahoo.com. Primo, we already talked about it earlier, man, but one more time. Yeah. Tell them where they can get that Sit Down Marks merch if they'd like grab one of your awesome t-shirt designs.
Well, first of all, if you have any more ideas, go ahead and send them to us. Send them to DB at where he just told you to do it. But if you want to buy one, you can go to tpublic.com/stores/sit down marks. That's tpublic.com/stores/SITDOWNSMAR. Fuck me. tpublic.com/stores/SITDOWNMARKS. We got shirts, we got hoodies, we got freaking tote bags. My wife has a tote bag.
Yeah, let's go.
Freaking mugs, baby clothes, of course.
Baby clothes.
Baby clothes.
By the way, we do have all that. And if you want to get it, go to tpublic.com/stores/sit down marks. You could also provide any of us with an idea, and we will do our best to maybe, if it's a good one, we'll think about it.
If it sucks,
if
we'll
it's
let you know.
shit and you don't see it, that's why. So
Bangers only.
I'm
Bangers
sorry.
only.
I'm not gonna lie. I am picky. But anyway,
that's good though.
I want to give a shout out real quick. I don't know about you guys, but like if you're, your family members or any of your friends outside of me, talk about your podcast or are proud of you for being on the podcast. But I got 2 kids, and I have a 13-year-old and an almost 10-year-old, and they think this is the coolest shit in the world.
Well, yeah.
And by the way, guys, a couple years ago when we made the merch store, that's when they thought we made it.
When we had our own t-shirts.
They thought we were over. Huh?
My son went to school today and has asked his 7th grade science teacher what her favorite wrestler was.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So,
let's go.
Miss Fauber, Melinda, I see you, girl. Her favorite wrestler is Sting.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Girl after my own
Let's
heart.
go.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. I want to give a quick shout out to everybody who joined us on YouTube and Facebook. Appreciate all the comments in the chats today. Nate said, Dylan, he will see you next Friday at Anarchy. So thanks for hanging out with us today, Nate. Thanks, Thomas. Everybody, we appreciate it, man, for joining us today. What's coming up next? Tuesday, the Dreamwave State of the Union address with Jay Repsol. Make sure you tune in for that one Tuesday. We're gonna be live right here, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. They got the Dreamwave Academy Summer Spectacular show just got announced with special guest Jerry the King Lawler. Man, Uprising's on the way. 10 years of Dreamwave. They got a fucking movie coming out, man. There's so much stuff to talk about in Dreamwave, and Jay's coming to give the State of the Union address right here next week on Tuesday. So check that out live on Tuesday, and the audio will be available on Wednesday. So make sure you check that out. All right, so let me get you guys out of here on this here before we go. We've had some guests on the show. I'll always remember Levi Cooper because I was the most nervous with him because I felt like if we nailed this one, we would be all right. And if we sucked and it was terrible, like, damn, we really dropped the ball here. But one guest that left an impression on you guys, AJ and Primo, as podcasters on it then, but in Dylan, I want to hear your thought on, like, who'd you listen to you liked. What about you, Primo?
So, personally, I have, I'm not gonna lie, I got like 4. two of them were repeat guests, and I would consider them friends of the pod. RPD and Hartenbauer were some of our earliest friends. Billy Starks, as the Rev just mentioned in the chat, that's one I was going to mention because she's on AEW now, but when she was on the pod almost 4 years ago, she was still young, like in high school, right?
Yeah, she was in high school.
Yeah.
So, like, that was crazy. I remember the coordination that DB had to do behind the scenes for that. Like, that was cool. I thought that was really cool because she was already making a good name for herself, and she seemed pretty down to earth for what she had going on. But also, Trevor Outlaw was really fun with AJ.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah,
that was really fun.
Yeah. AJ, who was yours?
So, like, I also have a few for different reasons. Christian Rose, just because you can talk to Christian Rose. Like, if it's pop culture related, which we all love talking about pop culture shit outside of wrestling, Christian Rose is the fucking man. He's like, I love talking to him whenever we could. Hartenbauer, just because he's become, like you said, a good friend of the pod, and he's also awesome to talk to.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, Trevor Outlaw was hands down my favorite interview. He stayed in character the entire time, and it was like, I think that's the moment where you stop trying to, like, okay, I've got to interview this person and I got to ask him these questions. You just abandon all that and you're like, all right, just fucking go with it. And I think that he really, really showed me that. And so I will be forever grateful to Trevor Outlaw. And it was fucking so much fun. Like, we had great banter. That was a blast. I would love to have him back.
That's so cool.
What'd you think as a fan, Dylan?
Yeah, so I had a couple that came to mind. One was Ref Perch, Dan Perch.
Yeah.
That was one I really enjoyed, just listening to him talk about wrestling. The dude loves wrestling. So that was cool. Our buddy Sabotage, Sean, being on the pod. He was on the pod, and I saw him not too long after that. And that was the first time I met him. We became really good friends.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't happen if he wasn't on the pod, so that's really cool. And to put DB over some more, that whole series of Sean Galway during his injury and comeback and all that. That was all really good. Like, take the friendship and being part of the pod, take it out of it, just listening to it. That was all really good stuff. Those are like the three that came to my mind.
Yeah.
I also liked all the Coyotes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was really happy with that Sean Galway. I hope that kind of stuff, like, I hope one day, like, like he finds somebody that breaks their leg or something. He's like, hey man, go listen to these podcasts and like, and like, like you'll get through it. It'll be all right. That kind of deal. But that was super cool, man. I've enjoyed, like, all of our guests. Yes, I've loved talking to Hartenbauer, Christian Rose for sure. Dude's just got a brain for wrestling, man. And Connor, Connor's going to be on TV soon, at some point, so having him on the pod is big. Yeah. Billy was huge. I don't know if I've ever really had anybody tell me no. But I'm gonna tell you. Even tell you who told me no. Hammerstone.
Alex Shelley.
Hammerstone.
Oh, Hammerstone right. Said no.
Wow.
He's about the only one I can remember that just downright said no.
That's
right. What I mean, I gave him a card anyway. But yeah,
that's right. Business card, baby.
Yeah, but most everybody said yeah, and so it's been super cool. So yeah, it's going to just about do it, boys. Oh, wait a second. There's one more clip we got to get to. So there was this one time where AJ was talking shit to Billy Gunn.
Yes.
And he sent a message in to us, and it went a little something like this.
All right, guys, what's going on? DB Primo, first off, let me congratulate you on your 100th episode of Sit Down Marks podcast.
Appreciate that.
I'm happy for you. I'm glad it's a up and going podcast.
Thank you, Mr. Ass.
I know we're leaving somebody out, but does it really matter that AJ's a part of this? Because he really contribute? I mean, you guys talk nice about me all the time, and then AJ sits over there in the corner like a little bitch and doesn't say anything and just wants to talk about how the feud with me and him. First of all, there is no feud, AJ, because I don't even know who you are. So for me to know who you are would mean that I'd have to know who you are, and I don't. So that means me and you got nothing going on. Other than I'm better than you, and that's just how it goes, and you're not even close to me because you couldn't even warm me up, let alone even lace up my boots. If I had laces in my boots, because we all know I don't. But I'll tell you what, you can pull my Velcro across, you can take my little underwears that I wear, you can put them on me, make sure that they fit tight, because that's about all you're good for. So, and of course, if you're not down with that, well, you know what, if you're not down with the Mark's podcast, we got 2 words for you. Scissor me.
He got so mad at me.
My favorite thing is like, I don't even know who you are, but he said your name like 10 times.
So you do, Mr. Gunn. You do know who I am, you son of a bitch.
Oh man, good stuff.
No one knows that you don't have laces on your boots.
Everybody knows you don't have those.
Man, you can't piss off one of the New Age Outlaws, bro.
Oh my god.
That was so awesome.
It was, man. It was great, man. It was great.
Billy
all right,
Gunn.
boys. Well, I appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you guys for 4 years. Let's do another 4. What do you say? Eh?
Okay.
Hey, let's do it.
Let's go.
I'm in. Let's go. All right. Just wanted to let you guys know, if you're new to the podcast, hang out till after we go off here. We got a little Easter egg segment coming up right after the music. So, Dylan, thank you, sir. AJ, I appreciate it. Primo, brother, thank you so much, man. Appreciate all you guys. Good to see y'all again. And we'll see you guys on the next.
Hey.
What?
You know what?
What?
I got to say that we have a classic one that we didn't talk about before we go here. We got the old classic. You guys saw that first episode with the headphones that DB was wearing.
Yeah.
Check this out.
This is my.
Before we kick off the show, we got to get a little welcome from Dirty Bird. There is no other way to do this. He's the one that welcomes us to Sit Down Marks every single episode. So enjoy this little 30-second mashup in honor of the man himself, Dirty Bird.
This is all my bloopers, ain't it?
All right, everybody, welcome.
Yeah.
Hello, guys. All right, everybody, here we are live. This show is Sit Down Marks. Let's talk wrestling. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Here we go. Sit Down Marks, man. It's time to talk a little wrestling. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to come in too hot there. All right, there we go. Fixing my sound there. Sorry about that. Well, let me turn myself off in my ear. Sorry. There we go.
Yeah.
Mute myself.
Off, man.
There we go. All right.
There we go.
There he is.
There we go. Jumping in here. This is Sit Down Marks. It's time to talk a little wrestling.
Yeah, talk a little wrestling. We gotta say thank you to Dirty Bird because he's honestly the one that put this all together.
Yep.
Appreciate it, boys. It don't happen without you guys. Y'all know that. So, yeah, man. Sorry we ran a little long today for your anniversary pod, but I was in celebratory mode and it was fun, man. We want to have a little fun today. So, all right, for myself, AJ, Primo, and Dylan. We are top guys, and we're going to stay on top, baby.
Yeah.
You guys might remember this, but like I've introduced AJ as a couple different things, but probably like my favorite one was when we used to work together. I used to call him the waitress crippler.
Yeah,
he was banging all them chicks.
I had a bit of a reputation. Like it was. I didn't mean to. Like it's not.
The waitress.
It just happened.
The waitress clipper from Biscuitville.
Biscuitville.
The Biscuitville crippler.
Speaking of Biscuitville, you guys really cool. Well, one, it's not an Easter egg if you tell people about it. And two, you know that our old outro is so problematic, and none of us had any idea what it even meant.
Yes,
we're all like such old men. Because I mean, what was it?
Right?
Yes. Grab them cakes. We used to go home on that.
Yeah.
Oh my god! We didn't have any idea. We thought it was just a innocent little junkyard dog reference.
Right.
No, we were telling people to go grab some butt cheeks. Is what we
Right. Yeah. And
I do enjoy that.
I mean, yeah, but
it was a good close. You know, I think finally, Tori like confirmed it for me. I'm like, okay, well, guess we can't use that anymore.
Yeah. I know when you said that, I was so
Stop
sad.
doing that one.
Damn it. Yeah. Now I gotta come up with shit like going out on top, and I don't know. Well,
Yeah, but that's
whatever.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We out. For real this time.
For real.